It's the final week of BBC Springwatch, and tonight we're visiting a Worcestershire garden that's bristling with wildlife and also with cameras. They've captured extraordinary footage of animals and birds which normally goes undetected. Our environment correspondent David Gregory-Kumar has pulled the best bits together along with tips on how to film wildlife in your own garden.
A secret garden not far from Malvern, sloping down to the banks of the River Severn. There is all sorts of wildlife here, and almost every move is captured on one of 25 cameras.
The garden mainly was vastly overgrown, and we wanted to turn it into a wildlife-friendly garden that was also nice for us to look at. The logical step from there was to try and film it, but I hadn't a clue how to do that. Then unfortunately we found Kate.
So meet the woman charged with wiring up the garden for sound and vision. So Kate, what did you think when you saw the site for the first time?
Well, when I stood at the top of the terrace and looked down the garden at 7 acres of such beautiful garden, it was pretty jaw-dropping. I was totally astounded.
And there's some pretty spectacular wildlife here, often making use of habitats created especially for them, like this artificial badger set that hasn't just attracted a family of badgers.
This is one of the 2 set entrances to the artificial badger set.
Oh yeah.
So I've kept this area clear and cut it back so that we get a nice clear image from the camera. But the muntjac came through here, I think. He comes right in front of the camera, mooches about in front of there, and that's the first time we've had muntjac on camera.
So if you want to film wildlife in your garden, what are Kate's tips for getting the best results? Well, take the kingfishers that visit the wildlife pond. A bit of preparation can produce great pictures.
This is where the kingfisher's been hunting. So we've been setting a trail camera up here.
So you know a kingfisher is always coming there, that exact spot?
Yeah.
So does that make it easier for the camera?
Yeah, it's great because I've got a close-up lens on this camera which focuses at 46 centimetres, which means that I've measured this distance, so I know when that kingfisher comes on there, he's going to be full frame and in focus.
All right, not everyone has the space or indeed the budget for 25 cameras in their garden. But if you can get even just one camera out there, well, it might give you an insight into the life of the wildlife that you might otherwise only catch a glimpse of as it flies by. Now, these cameras produce a lot of video and it all pours through the 3 screens in the control room. The best is put online for everyone to enjoy. But what's David's favourite ever clip?
I guess a favourite is the otters, because we'd heard the otters were in the area, but we'd never seen them. And then to get 3 on one clip in daylight was amazing.
It's a setup Springwatch itself would be proud of, and it all reveals just how much goes on in our gardens and just how much is usually hidden from sight.
Goodness, aren't those pictures spectacular? Well, David joins us now live from Shrewsbury, and you're on the trail of one of those animals we saw in that report, David.
Yes, that's right, Nick. We're here for some very easy bird watching, the stadium swallows of Shrewsbury Town. By the start of the season, there could be a couple of hundred of them here. With me is Gareth from Shropshire Wildlife Trust. Why do they like it here?
Well, when you go through the tunnel and have a look around under the stadium, you can see there are so many suitable structures for them to nest on that I'm not at all surprised that we've got good numbers of nests here at the football ground.
So you're going to be keeping an eye on them from now on, hopefully?
Yes, we're hopefully going to work with the club and put some monitoring in place so that we can see how they do from year to year, how many nests there are, hopefully how many young they manage to produce.
And swallows are having, well, a toughish time at the moment, aren't they?
They've been in a fairly long decline for some time. They make this incredible journey, obviously, from South Africa back to here and then back to South Africa again. It's quite a distance to find enough suitable feeding sites, and of course they've got to cross the Sahara Desert, which is getting bigger each year. So numbers have been falling, and we think it's because of the difficulty of finding enough places to feed and keep the strength and the fat reserves up over that distance.
And if you have swallows and you expect them every year and they don't turn up, is that bad news?
Depends what happened to them, unfortunately. If those individuals have come to some harm, then obviously they're not going to return, and their offspring that would have returned with them won't come back. But if it's a suitable nest site, there are birds in the area looking to nest, they've used it before, absolutely no reason why not.
Gareth, thank you very much for that. So that's good news for my mum, who's expecting the swallows back in the garden. Now, on the blog at bbc.co.uk/David Gregory-Kumar, you can find more video from that garden, top wildlife tips, and of course a gallery of your pictures that you've sent in to us. There's lots of great stuff to see there. Back to you, Nick.
David, thank you very much.